that feeling of uncertainty. You've learned that you will be interacting with a deaf coworker, customer, or patient, but have no idea what that entails. You're unsure about how to respectfully communicate with a deaf person, and you're likely nervous about the addition of an interpreter. Whether this is your first time using a sign language interpreter or you're a seasoned ADA pro, here are 5 simple pointers to ensure your event is an inclusive one. Tip number 1. Speak and look directly at the deaf individual.
Tell him that I got his lab results and everything seems to be fine.
Can you identify what this doctor did incorrectly? You're right. She neither looked at nor talked directly to her deaf patient. Ouch. Could you imagine how uncomfortable it might feel to be a sick patient in that position? Now let's see how the interaction could have gone better.
Hi, I got your lab results and everything seems to be fine.
Now that's much better. The doctor is looking at her patient and addressing them directly. Now a more trusting connection is formed between the two individuals. Tip number 2. Prepare your interpreter. This second word of advice helps ensure communication goes smoothly. If you are planning a presentation, class, or workshop, it is vital to prepare your interpreter by sending preparation materials to ICS at least 1 week prior to your service date. Presentation materials ensure your interpreters understand and have translations prepared for the content you intend to present. Materials can include an agenda, PowerPoint, biography, video clip, or a song that will be used or presented on the date of your request. Similarly, it is important to remember interpreters often work in multiple fields, sometimes even in the same day. Acronyms and terminology from one field are often different from that of another, so it is a time-saving practice to brief your interpreter on any industry-specific jargon you intend to use to avoid confusion or clarifications later. Tip number 3. Position the interpreter clearly. Ensure that the interpreter is positioned next to the primary speaker with an unobstructed view of the deaf participant. No need to ask what went wrong this time. The presenter clearly forgot an interpreter was present, obstructing the view and participation of her deaf colleague. Now let's see how that could have gone better. Terrific! The presenter remembered an interpreter was in the room and considerately waited for an appropriate moment before obstructing her colleague's view. Tip number 4. The interpreter is not a messenger or recorder. Interpreters are not messengers, meaning you should not ask the interpreter to tell any deaf or hearing participants something at a later time. Similarly, interpreters are not recorders, so you should not ask the interpreter to recall something said during a previous conversation or event. Interpreters adhere to a strict code of professional conduct and confidentiality. Asking an interpreter to act in either of these ways places the interpreter in a conflicting situation. Let's take a look at what we mean.
Where'd he go? Just tell him he has a 3 o'clock meeting this afternoon.
Oops, did you catch the mistake there? The presenter asked the interpreter to pass along a message to her deaf colleague who wasn't present in the room. This places serious liability on the interpreter that extends outside their professional role. What's worse, if the message isn't delivered, the absent deaf colleague could face the unfortunate consequences of their coworker's poor decision. Now let's see what could have gone better.
Oh, he already left. I'll wait and give him my message.
Well done. The employee recognized that her colleague wasn't available and approached the situation in the same way she would with her other colleagues. Tip number 5. Speak at a normal pace. We know it can be nerve-wracking giving a presentation next to someone who is processing every word you say. Remember to relax and speak at a normal pace. Interpreters are trained professionals capable of keeping up with even the fastest or most articulate speakers. If any interpreter feels you are speaking too quickly, they will respectfully let you know.
Hello everyone. I became fascinated by marketing in college. The concept of personal branding and what it could do for me.
Well, that was awkward. The presenter is clearly uncomfortable and unfamiliar with how interpreters work. Let's see a better approach.
information about me. I became fascinated by marketing in college, especially the concept of personal branding and what it can do for me.
Now there's a confident presenter who knows how to use an interpreter. There you have it. In just 5 quick tips, you learned how to effectively work with a sign language interpreter. Still have lingering questions? Don't worry, simply visit inclusiveasl.com to view answers to frequently asked questions, read up on our informational blog posts, watch additional videos, or to shoot us a message. Rest assured that ICS is committed to being your informational resource for equal access and inclusion. The world awaits you. Be included.